Hello friends! One of my ongoing to-dos is continuing to work on this tank that you see behind me. I've been working on a fully scaped foam type tank to try out this method, and it's kind of just sat around for a while collecting dust. There's the potential that something's coming soon to go into it, so I gotta get working on it, and yeah, this is my to-do right now. So, in the past I have cleaned it all. I added a false bottom. I'll take a zoom in on that later. I added these shelves out of just styrofoam basically. I then spray foamed everything with Great Stuff spray foam. Lots of other people have done these kind of tutorials on YouTube, so I've just been following along and seeing what I create. I've got one branch kind of just adhered to the wall. There's going to be more branches going up. That's a hint, it's climbing. And so for right now, I'm just taking my nice little stabby item, my X-Acto knife, and I'm trying to carve it. And it doesn't need to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. It's meant to look natural, and nature is far from perfect. So I just kind of hack at it, and we'll see what it ends up looking like. I'm going to work on that and enjoy the quick motion of it. I used two different types of spray foam, and you can actually really tell the difference. can't say which is which though, because I did this so long ago. But this is such a soft, squishy spray foam, and this one is a much harder, rougher spray foam. I think this is what I was supposed to use. I'm not entirely sure what I used for that. I think it might have been the window and door seal, so it's more insulated and therefore has more air to it, based on the fact that it's still stuck in there. Yeah, it's I would not recommend this one. It carves nicely, but it's not the same solid background that you want. It's way softer. We'll see what it looks like when it eventually gets finished and sealed between the two. Alright, it's been a couple days. It's going well. At least I think it is. I gotta go get a few more supplies still. I have definitely packed up a ton. There's stuff under here. A ton of stuff. I'm planning to take some of the pieces that are bigger and flat and add them on top and then carve them away to just give more depth and texture. But I like the way it's coming along. So yeah, just figured I'd share a quick update on what it looks like right now, and more later. Hey y'all, I have been spending every free moment carving this tank, and admittedly I think it's looking absolutely fantastic. I've only got a small amount left to do, but if you want my recommendation for ever doing a spray foam tank, my recommendation is don't do it. Use styrofoam. You can heat gun styrofoam, you can heat cut styrofoam, it cuts easier, you can make it look more natural more easily. It's a way better product to work with, in my opinion. Carving up all this spray foam, especially because it's already attached in the tank and I can't pull it out and work on it. If I'd maybe had it on the floor and then put it in, I could maybe do it. This is a pain. This has been days upon days upon days of trying to get some work done, little by little. I'll give you a zoom in of everything to show you what. So that little bubbly part back there, that's what it starts with. And then I carve it up, and I'm trying to make like ledges type look to it. So everything's gonna have ledges. And this is just step one. This is just carving. Next step is still I gotta seal all this, and then I gotta add like the goopy background and put some moss type substrate on it. This is still a lot of work, and it's exhausting. I am wiping myself out doing this. I'm so glad there's only a little bit of carving left, and then that part's done. So yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna look incredible, but take it from me, carve as much as you possibly can as a separate piece that you can remove. Use styrofoam as much as you possibly can, or any of those rigid foams, and then only use spray foam where you need to fill in a gap or something, because wow, is carving that up such a pain. Okay, I'm gonna get back to it, see how much more I can get done tonight. One thing, using a longer blade definitely gives me a lot more control, but I keep snapping my blades and making them short. So, nice long blade, much better control. Short blade, less likely to break it. Sharp blades, definitely better, just Be careful, I keep cutting myself. Ricky gets mad at me. It's a disaster. Grabbing the foam makes my fingers hurt, so I use pliers. Okay, zoom in. So that's what I just got done. Hope you guys can tell the difference. That's kind of the look I'm going for. I don't care whether it's a clear background or a fuzzy background. The fuzzy background will be sealed up. The clear background will be either sealed up or frosted. And yeah, it's a lot of work. Some of the best textures come from just picking at it with fingers. And that makes a more realistic fakeness to it, as opposed to anything that has a hard edge. Try and get rid of that. Anywhere that's like, if you follow the line, carving that out seems to work nice. Wherever there's a line of where the types are, where the spray foam kind of bubbled up. So, if you see there's kind of a line here. I'll just kind of cut that out as if you were carving a spot out of a potato or something. And then I'll just clean it up a bit. Makes it look a bit more natural. And yeah, you can't be too exact because that won't look real, but you have to be, you know, fiddly enough to actually make it slightly believable. And always take off less than you think you need to, and then come back later. And you can always take off more. So that's my advice for anyone. I still don't think spray foam, like it's not hard to work with, but don't spray foam into your tank like this. This is an absolute beating to carve up an entire big tank full of spray foam. It's exhausting, and it's warm down here, and I'm gonna keep going and get the rest of this done. I'll see you guys when it's done. Y'all, I don't know how long it's been. I don't want to know how long it's been, but I think I'm done. At least I'm done for today. I've got everything blocked in. I've definitely created a lot of foam. It's closed. A lot of foam. There's a few pieces that I made that I want to attach, so I'm going to finish that up. And then I guess tomorrow I'm going to come see if there's anything I want to tidy up. See if I missed anything, go around every edge and corner, see what I see. And otherwise, this is it. And it's taken me 11 billion years. And we're getting there. we're getting there. This thing's almost built. So next step is tidy up, then seal it. It's getting exciting. Let's see what happens. Y'all, I think I'm done carving. I'm gonna texture it a bit more, go from nice smooth texture to something a bit rougher, kind of trying to do all the lines towards me, but obviously I'm still learning. I removed all the foam. It was basically up to the top. I filled a garbage bag full of it. You can see my false bottom again. I will do my texturing, do a ton of vacuuming, clean up all the walls, anywhere that there's still bits of foam stuck. I've got my scraper that I can remove all the stuck on bits like that. Yeah, it's coming. We're going. Let's keep getting to it. I'm trying out a wire brush for texture. So I'm going from something like this. Hopefully you guys can see it's quite smooth. Adjust my camera so I'm actually sure what I'm doing. Not exactly the best view there. Further back. Okay, well it kind of shows. Reaching in where I can. My extender won't work for this, so just kind of do what I can with this and it does end up with a more textured look to it. So we'll see how that looks once it's all painted and everything. I just don't want it to be totally flat. So that's what I'm doing now. Any flat surfaces getting textured. Okay, we are looking good. Tidied up, roughed up all my surfaces, did a nice cleanup, vacuumed it all out, made sure that my sides are clear. So I'm thinking some spots are going to be covered in the background material anyway, but I do want to have like window areas into the back, and it'll be a frosted glazing. So wherever it's going to be frosted, I'm going to put some painter's tape now, and that should keep it looking nice. And then once it's all taped up, I guess I can do my first coat of black dry lock. So we'll see if I do that today or tomorrow. But getting lots of work done, pretty happy. So right now I am wrapping everything I want nice and clean in painter's tape. And it's tedious, but I'm finding a nice way to get it so it looks a little bit rough still. Hope that shows up on camera. Yeah, let's keep going. Okay friends, I've hit the next stage of the tank build, and that stage is called painting. This is rough. Gonna keep going. Hello friends, we are on day, I have no idea, of painting, and it's slow going, but it's going. We're on a trying to do a kind of a final push to get this first layer at least finished so that I can actually start working on the second layer, which will actually bring out definition to it a lot more, because right now it's just kind of a black disaster. But it's, you know, fairly solid. It's coming along well. There's still some spots that aren't fully cured, or like that are a bit softer. Hopefully with another, I don't know, like it just felt moist, but I'm not getting anything off of it. Yeah, so it's just got to get this part done. It's not easy, especially getting around back of areas, getting around tight spots like behind here. There's not a lot of space to get in there. So yeah, didn't really think it through the best while planning this out, but it is what it is, and Ricky's been helping me a ton. Gonna see if I can get someone else to come give me a hand with it too, and get this first coat finished would be nice. So let's get going. The more destroyed the brush is, the better it is at getting into all the little cracks and crevices. So at least I'm learning. not bad for a bit of work. But, oh, my arm is tired. So, let that dry, and I'll be back in a bit to do some more. See you when it's done. Hello, friends. So, as you can see, we've come a long way, and we have the whole base of the background painted black with black Drylock, so it's quite solid now. And it's time to start putting on the first layers of the dry painting. So that involves taking a lighter colored paint and using a very dry brush, dry brushing. And then you just kind of lightly go over it with very little paint on it, and it picks up on the raised areas, get more of the light color, and the further down areas stay dark, and it gives it more depth and texture. So we're going to be giving that a shot, and we'll see how it goes. Got a few little bumps and such that just as stuff has been bumped down. So I'll do a quick wipe down, and I did some scraping, removed the taped bits that I had, and it's looking okay. The camera kind of makes it all look very matte right now, but you can already see it has a lot of texture to it. So yeah, hoping to bring out more of that texture with the dry brushing. I'll find a place to set up the camera and I can get started. Okay, so there's definitely a difference. I'm not doing a huge difference in tone right now. It's definitely a lighter gray, but it's not like extreme. Oh, I should have brushed that off. The other thing I can do So I might not do the best camera work here as I'm trying to brush and camera, but so the background, the flat parts don't really need it, but doesn't matter if they get it on there because they're gonna have kind of cocoa husk put into silicone or whatever. But the flat bits is where it's gonna make a difference. So let's set the camera up somewhere. I don't know if it's because I didn't do like a strong contrast that it's not feeling like a huge change. Like I can see a difference, but it just kind of blends in at the moment. So I guess that's what I want. I'd rather do a few more layers and have it blend better, but It definitely makes a difference on the background where it's not going to be that much, but that's cool. Well, then maybe I'll make sure some areas of the background do have the rock background. After all, if it's gonna look nice, might as well use it. Okay, as I do more and more, I'm noticing it more, so that's good. This is gonna look good. Okay, I will keep going on this, and I will be back with more video once I've got this first coat of dry brushing on. Okay, we are back, and I have to say, not a huge difference. I think I used too close of a shade. So it didn't actually show up that much compared to the old shade. So we're gonna go significantly lighter. Like you can see the difference, just not very well. So yeah, we're gonna go significantly lighter on this one, just being very careful not to overload my brush. And we're gonna see how that looks. It wasn't a hard job, so you know, at least that's good. I also added black on the outsides to hide the ugly show of the foam, and then these outsides are getting a treatment as well. And yeah, we'll get to that later. Right now, gonna do some more dry brushing. So this is basically just pure dry lock color of gray, and we're gonna try that. I don't think that. Okay, so yeah, dip it, wipe it off, and then starting at the bottom, significantly different compared to the other one. Hope the camera's picking that up, because that is looking quite nice in my opinion. Alright, it really shows up the texture more. In a way that you can see. Let's find out. This is so much more satisfying than just putting the black coating on. Yes, this is definitely looking nicer than the darker version. All right. So once again, I'm just gonna work on the whole tank, get everything shaded like this, and then decide if I want to do even one more coat, but I'm thinking this might be it. We'll see what it looks like when it's dry. And we will be back. Okay, so I just really wanted to show off what the difference is. So this piece is done. You know, you got some highlights and such, but before, it looked like this. This is just a black blob. And I'm gonna paint this black blob, and I'm gonna come back and you're gonna see it looks so much better afterwards. Like, I don't even think the camera is able to capture how much nicer this looks after the dry brushing is done. So, this is before, and this is after. This has been a minute difference. Very fast application. I wasn't careful with it. I'm just making sure that my brush doesn't have a ton on it, but even then, still ended up with more. But the difference that dry brushing makes is just amazing. So, I've still got a lot of the tank left to go, so we'll come back and see it when it's done. Alright, hey, even on the little camera that's already looking a bit better. So, yeah, we've got a ton of it done. I tried to do some different rocks were a bit more colored than others. It is drying still a bit darker than I would have liked, but I have to decide if that means I want to do another coat with an even lighter gray, or if I want to just leave it at this, because it does look nice. It's just not as contrasted as I would have liked. I might just try doing another coat of the light gray first after this one dries. I found a hole, so I'm just filling that in, and then I'll patch that up, make it look the same. But otherwise, I think it's looking real nice. I'm pretty happy with this, and yeah, I might do a little bit of touch-ups, and then, oh, what's after that? I guess the silicone background bits. Probably some cleanup too. Gotta use the scraper and clean off the glass and such wherever I've made a mess. So, those are my next steps. It's going well. See you soon. Hello again. Okay, we are back. Let's do a recap. Looks fantastic after the dry brushing. I don't know if the camera picks it up that nice, but I really like it. And I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Definitely made a huge difference. Totally worth doing. Okay, I cleaned up and scraped down all the walls. I cleaned up the outside and painted the outside. And I've done a second coat on it too, and you'll see that I have taped it because I'm going to spray it with a frosted glass. I think I'm going to use this greenish one. So yeah, it's going to be frosted on the outside. It'll feel more secure for the animals while still letting light kind of bounce through, like as if you were actually in a forest. I have to do the silicone on the places that I want silicone and some moss and such stuck to the walls. So that's going to be another step today. And then Ricky pointed out, my dear fiance came down and pointed out an issue. So I added the door here so you can see. If it's on the outside track, it moves fine. But if I put it on the inside track, we have a problem. So, before I do anything else, I'm going to try cutting this back and see if I can get it to look okay just cut, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to take this out and cut or spray foam and make this into a solid piece and not have this planter here. So, that's my next thing I'm working on. Let's go. So got that foamed, wait for it to expand, and carve it, paint it. At least now I know what I'm doing, so it feels like it'll go real fast. Also, this is very easy to access, so it won't be as bad as trying to get, say, behind the area. Things I've learnt doing this, the dry brushing, totally worth it. Just go gentle with it, because some pieces pick it up way more than others, so I ended up making a different colors as we went through. Ideally, don't do it in a tank. Have it out and then stick the pieces to the tank later. This was an absolute pain to do that way, and if I had had it separate pieces, this would have been so much easier. What else can I say? Oh, the scraper. This scraper, $5, absolutely saved me a ton. I don't know how I would have done it without, because scraping off all the little flecks from the dirt or from the glass, even scraping off the old tape I had. This thing with its little razor blade, it has just been the best purchase for this. Okay, I guess next thing is going to be doing some spray paint on the outside. So I'll set it up so that I can show that off too. We're going to leave it for a bit, come back and see what it looks like. Okay, the frosting is coming along real nicely. It's, yeah, it's coming along nicer than I thought from the first coat. I don't think I'm going to be doing another coat. The smell was pretty strong. Unfortunately, I can't get this thing outside, so I've just had to open all the windows. My spray foam is foaming up. And I'm about to do my silicone. So I've got my silicone that's critter safe. I've got a ton of sphagnum moss that I broke up into little tiny bits. So I'm gonna put silicone on the areas that I want it, and then push a bunch of sphagnum into it, and then that'll have to sit and cure. So that's what I'll be working on now. Alright, this is where we're at. We've got moss in a whole bunch of different places. I know the lighting is terrible in here, I'm sorry. I don't have it turned nicely. That might help. There we go. So you can actually see nice moss everywhere. My new thing is still squishy, but it's hardening, so give that a bit, come back and foam it. The foggy glass is definitely working. Looking pretty good in my opinion. I think that'll help them feel more secure. So yeah, you can they might get shadows moving around. Anyway, I gotta go clean up because I am filthy after this. There was apparently still some spots of wet paint that I had not found, and so I ended up getting silicone mixed with paint mixed with sphagnum on my fingers. So I'll clean up and I will come back later and work on fixing up my mistake. Okay, so I carved out kind of a shape that I'm okay with. This is my redo shape, and I think it'll match in once I get everything painted up. So that's next step, get it painted. First coat goes on nice and thick. Get in all the nooks and crannies. Make sure it's in there. Check it from every angle, and I think we're okay. Okay, so now that sits overnight to clean up. Before I stop, I'm going to take my scraper and just scrape the mess I immediately made. Remember, I frosted the outside so I can always clean the inside without damaging my frosting. See, I've still got places I gotta clean up, but I don't want to risk doing it while everything is wet, so I won't do too much of this. Alright, that's probably my sign to cut it out. I'll come back to that tomorrow when everything is done. So that's what it looks like. I think it'll be okay. I don't think anyone will notice, and I suppose I should do a test, but I can already see that we will have enough clearance so my glass won't be bashing against it. Okay, so that's that for now, and we'll get back to it tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day, and the paint is dry. It definitely stands out a bit, but that's just because of the color difference right now. So I'm going to get my dry brushing and touch that up so it matches the rest, and I think it will look just fine. I'll try and set up the camera so you can actually see the dry brushing this time. Tiny amount on the brush. Brush most of it off. Alright, I think it's done. Alright, blends in so much nicer. It might not be perfect, but that's fine. All I need is for it to look decent. So with that, once that's dried, the background is done. This video is done. And I will make another video later on showing how we go from this to a fully set up enclosure. If anyone wants to make a guess as to what the enclosure is for, go right ahead. Obviously the few of you who know already, shh, don't spoil it. But yeah, I am pretty darn happy with how this turned out. Even if it was kind of a pain in the butt, looks really nice, and I think it's going to function really well. So that's it for this video, and thank you very much for watching, and if you have any comments, definitely leave them below. Stay safe, stay sane. Bye bye, friends.